Hello, everyone, to another this is an unbelievable episode of Training Unleashed, because today I have the entire Tortal team here, and we're going to talk about what it's like to work from home, what it's like to work virtually. And, for many of our listeners, this is new. But for us, we have been doing this since 2013. So this is not new for us. And really what I want our team to do is talk about what their best practices are, simple things, routines, how they get up, how they find private space, whatever it is. I want to hear from them so all of you can kind of take these tips and bring them to your life. So I'm going to just get this thing going. I'm going to start with Stephanie. And everyone on the team, introduce yourself and introduce your role, and then share just one tip, because we don't want to steal it from everybody else. We want to give everybody a chance. So Stephanie, please.
Thanks, Evan. Stephanie Stiles, VP of Learning Development. I would say that my number one tip would be to set ground rules and expectations with those around you so that they know that, hey, this is my work time. Even though I'm at home, this is a dedicated opportunity for me to devote my attention to my work. And there will be break times, but setting those clear expectations with family or friends or others around is very important.
Do you have dedicated workspace?
I do, yes. That's very important, is to carve yourself out even if you do not have a set office, to have a set space that is your perimeter that you utilize. And when you're in that, others know, that's their time, not to distract you from that.
Excellent. Janet, you want to share with us? Don't forget the introduction, please.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Evan. Janet Bordeaux, and I am the communication consultant at Tortal. My big thing is blocking some time on my calendar for getting work done, so that if you have a busy meeting schedule, you can make sure that you have time to complete some stuff, some heads down work.
Excellent point. I think whether you're at home or in the regular office, it's a great tip, is schedule time to actually work and get away from the email. Adria.
Hi, Adria Myers, and I'm also on the learning development team, and I work as an instructional designer. I would say my number one tip that I would like to share would be to carve out time for self-care, whether that means making sure you take lunch, making sure you step outside, things like that. If you just dive into your day, before you know it, it could be 2 p.m. and you maybe haven't even stepped outside or taken a break to get coffee or a meal. So I would say definitely make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Excellent tip. Josh, please introduce and also tell everyone where you live.
Hi, my name is Josh Vega. I'm the Senior Systems Engineer for Tortal. I live in Quito, Ecuador, just south of the border. And I have had a very interesting 20 plus years working remotely, 6 years with Tortal. I can say maybe one of the biggest tips that I have is to jot down, make a list of what you want to accomplish each day and make sure that you are on that track. And the second tip would be to communicate. Having a team and having technical backgrounds, touching many technical points in the company makes it sometimes hard to understand who's doing what. So communication is always key. From a logistical point of view, I agree with Adria. Every hour and a half, just stand up, walk around, put your mind on a different thing, and come back to work. That is always very refreshing, and just put your mindset towards success, I believe.
Thank you very much, Josh. That's fantastic. Dylan.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm in sales development here at Tortal Training. My tip for working at home would definitely be to, maintain a clean environment, because your environment basically, contributes to how well you're going to focus. Also as well, make sure that there's light brights to keep you, going, but definitely having a clean environment, I would say.
Excellent. Love it. Erin.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erin Brennan. I'm an AVP of Learning Strategy. So I'm the lucky girl that gets to work directly with our clients to uncover their training goals and challenges and opportunities. And what I would share, which is super obvious, but having worked in a physical office with colleagues for years, I think it's critical that you show up every morning dressed and ready, even if it is in a virtual environment. I think it helps to really mentally prepare you for the day that you're about to start. So that's my key to success.
Love it. Great tips. Everyone, great tips. Greg.
Thanks, Evan. My name is Greg Dumont, and I'm part of the Learning Technology team. And my tip is to start very early if you're in a responsive position. If you're handling problems all day and you're the guy that people go to, I think it's important for me to start early and do the time-sensitive stuff that I can get done so I have more time to react during the day.
Excellent. Great tip. Mike.
Thanks, Evan. Mike Ziegler, VP of Learning Development. From a leadership standpoint, I would say it's keeping a team environment. A communication plan, just like this tool here, where not only are we speaking, but emails you don't see each other in emails. You can't have an office environment with an email. But with a communication tool where you can do visual calls and see each other and operate as a team, I think is vital just to keep the office environment intact and the camaraderie.
I love it. And one thing just for the listeners is we use Zoom a lot, and we Zoom each other. We don't call each other. The only time we call each other is like when someone's out of the office. Out of the office, in this case, is out of the home. So I think it's really important to see people, very much so. Desiree.
Hi, I'm Desiree Lackey. I'm instructional designer here at Tortal. I would say a good tip that I have is to have a little bit of background noise if possible. For instance, some relaxing music going on or something, especially if you're used to being in a work environment where you have, or an office environment where you have a lot of people around, just that little bit of chatter or a little bit of relaxing background noise.
Cool. Matt.
Thank you, Evan. My name is Matt Cole. I'm a senior instructional designer with the learning development side of the business. My tip would be to make sure that all distractions are far away from wherever your designated work area is. It's really easy for someone who's not used to working from home to think they can sit down right next to the TV and just be able to work without any interruption, but it's easy to get distracted. So I recommend removing all of those from your workspace.
Cool. Thank you. Brandon.
Thank you, Evan. Brandon Dreher, Vice President, Learning Strategy. So I actually did some research because when I first started with Tortal 6 years ago, it wasn't my first time working remotely. And they actually have, it's actually been proven that people are a little bit more productive when they work from home because they don't have that nervous mindset of the manager that is kind of overwatching them. So when they get up and go to the bathroom, they're not thinking, man, if I walk past my manager, are they going to say, okay, what's Brandon doing away from his desk again? My tip is working for 30 to 45 minutes straight at your job, and then getting up and doing something what they call, which takes an unconsciously competent effort, like loading the dishwasher or changing out a load of laundry. What that does is that shuts your mind down because you don't have to spend a lot of effort to think about how to load the dishwasher. And loading the dishwasher in 5 minutes, shutting your mind down and coming back to work actually, it actually refreshes your mind. And so when you come back to work for that 30 to 45 minutes, you are actually a little bit more productive. So you do that throughout the day, 30 to 45 minutes, and then you get up and you go do something that is unconsciously competent.
Interesting. Very interesting. Like it. Lee.
Hi, I'm Lee Wedgeworth. I'm the VP of IT here at Tortal. My tip is simply to drink lots of water, which will kind of force you, without even having to remember, to do all the things that everyone else is talking about taking breaks and vision breaks, and being sure you don't stay seated for too long. And drinking lots of water will kind of make you do that, whether you want to or not.
Good point. Now, Stephanie, I know you have something else you want to share with us.
Be sure that you utilize your tools to stay connected. I think that's very important. It's really easy to kind of feel like you're isolated, especially when you're accustomed to working in an office environment. So utilize the tools that are available to stay connected, and make sure that you take that opportunity to seek out somebody each day and make those connections with them, so that you don't lose sight of your coworkers or your leadership team.
What are some of the tools you use?
We utilize Zoom a great deal. So there is chat functions within Zoom. There is meetings. We're actually hosting this via Zoom right now. So we do utilize Zoom. We also utilize a tool called Voxer. So that is it's kind of like a walkie-talkie type tool. So that's been very successful for us as well. Quick hits to just let everybody know something, and they can listen to it at their leisure. But there's numerous tools that you can utilize, but those are definitely two of the ones that we do on a consistent basis.
Thank you very much. Those are great tips. Okay, we've gone through the preliminary rounds. Now we're going to get to the tough questions. I'm going to ask this to any of the managers. How do you actually know your staff's working? This is what everyone wants to know. They think, okay, working from home, let's watch Bewitch.
Evan, I'll go first on that. Mine is it's a trust issue, right? So I trust my team. And, obviously staying in communication and them updating me on what's going on and what they've done during the week, assures me that my team's working.
Excellent. Mike?
Yeah, like Brandon said, it is a trust issue. You have to trust your team, but you can also use your tools. This Zoom tool is a great, one thing I would add is have the parameters with the tool also. You have to have, a do not disturb, understanding everyone using the tool correctly. If you're in a meeting, it lets you know that they're in a meeting or on a call, but if you're doing something or maybe it is speaking to a customer on a phone call, is clicking the do not disturb or using the tool itself to communicate what everybody's doing. And then, like our team, we pretty much communicate via the chat messaging all day long, back and forth. So you're really, it's just like in an office space where we're talking or working together.
If I go ahead, Stephanie.
I was going to say, I think communication with your team is key as well. We ensure that we set up a touch base, a regular touch base. We set goals for the week. We validate those goals as we move through the week. So just constantly communicating and having that opportunity to stay connected, as I said.
I think ultimately, if someone's not being productive.
Yeah, I mean, working remotely, you have that, it kind of forces you to step up the engagement to whether it becomes pretty obvious whether or not somebody's doing their thing or not.
I also tell you from years of experience, a lot of people can hide at work. They can be in their cubbies and not actually working and act like they're working. So it's not something just from home. one of the things that I think is nice about our company is that we know each other very personally. And even though, we're not, we physically get together once a year. That's it. Once a year, we physically get together. Some of you live and work in the same city, but don't physically see each other all that often. And we'll just open this up to anybody. What are some of the things that we do to keep this so that, we feel that personal connection to each other?
Evan, for instance, like I really respect the fact that you'll call me every few days and reach out to me and just say, how's everything going? What are you struggling with? What do you need to work on more? And you provide me with coaching, as well as Brandon and Greg. Greg, me and him talk a lot on Zoom throughout the day as well, and it's cool. We'll work together, on video chat, and it kind of feels like he's actually there right next to me, and it's just as good as actually working right next to him. So definitely just staying in constant contact.
Right, Greg, you had raised your hand.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a lot of us are also friends on social media, so we do see family photos. And if someone's on vacation, what their vacation's like, and chat about non-work stuff. I think that helps a lot with the culture.
Andrea?
Yeah, in addition to what Greg was saying, as well as Dylan, I've received phone calls from you, Evan, especially around the holidays, just to wish like me and my family a Merry Christmas or Happy Thanksgiving. So that keeps us in touch and we are able to know each other on a more personal level. But also, not every single meeting, but when we close certain meetings with good and welfare and we're able to share, something really nice personal that's going on in our own lives, or shout out to a team member, I think that helps, build that personal relationship, especially outside of our own, close team. So that's what I have to add.
So Adria, why don't you explain what good and welfare is to everyone? And a shout out to my partner, Cordell Riley, who is the person that brought this to the company.
Okay, perfect. So typically at the close of our meeting, you will prompt us to share good and welfare if we would like. And so that's where we're able to really just share like a highlight of something going on in our life that we would like our team to know about. Like in my case, there's a lot going on in our family with an adoption. So I try to give updates about that to the team, or also to like let everybody else who's not in our immediate team know that like Matt has been a great partner on a recent project that we're doing together. So kind of to highlight his skills and make sure everybody knows how appreciative I am of him, for example, which I am, Matt. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think we have used our allotted time. I guess I want to just end with sort of a thought. And that is, success comes from embracing what you're at, what you're doing. And if you go into working remotely or virtually with the idea that I'm going to hate this, congratulations, that will be your reality. And if you go into the idea that I'm going to embrace this and I'm going to make this work, you're going to find it to be an excellent way to work. At least that's how I feel about it. Everyone on the team, I want to thank you very, very much for taking the time to share. It's kind of an unusual Training Unleashed episode, but I think timely. And everyone have a great day.